What is up, guys? My name is Dexus and welcome back to Game Time. This is episode 4 of our Minecraft survival realm. As you can see, I'm standing in the sky on a weird little shelf of dirt. Behind me, I have a map that I have made of the surrounding area. As you can see right down there, this clearing in the dark oak forest pertains to this little clearing that we've got right here. And as you can see, my little green dot is pretty much right in the center of this map. Now, currently, our village exists just in this little area, and you can see it. If I crouch over here, you can see it just peeking around over there. There's our little village. It looks so nice. It's so sweet. There's our little starter houses. But it's a very basic village. I've only done the meanest of touch-ups to it, and really it looks nice, but yeah, it's not the mega base that I'm looking to create. And I'm thinking that I'm going to be expanding the base pretty considerably. I want to take up most of this area, I would say, in my city. We're going to be removing a lot of this forest. We're going to be incorporating, I'd like to incorporate these mountains in a way, and I have an idea for it. I have an idea even for these snow-top mountains if I can manage it, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But as you can see right now, we have got a lot of trees in the way. So I think the first thing on the agenda is to take this nether star, and we are going to craft ourselves a beacon, get some haste 2 up in here, and we are just gonna wipe out this forest. And then we're gonna get started on kind of designing the layout of the city. So I want to make sure not to jump off the edge of this thing while I'm still wearing netherite chest piece. But there we go. Oh, that feels good. So down here, I believe I have some iron cooked up. Good. Yeah, beacon looks like this. Boom. There we go. Beacon. And see how many bricks we can make here. 7. Now, when you're planning on making a huge base, like a mega base like this, it's really important to do a lot of the planning first, and to make most of your idea be fairly fleshed out, your concept for your build, before you even place a single block. And so what I've tried to do is basically design and come up with concepts for each of the major buildings that are going to be part of my city, and I haven't even started on clearing out the area really. Now, my city, as I'm picturing it right now, has about 5 or 6 major sections to it. And each one of those sections is going to wind up being a mega build in its own right. But for today, I think my goal is going to be just designing and mapping out, sort of building the skeleton for 3 of the 5 or 6 builds. But before I get into any of that, I want to make a map. Not just any map. I would like to make a map of the area that I will replicate over time, showing the changes that are made as I build up this city. I've made a 3x3 grid of maps that show quite a large area around my base, and so this was going to work perfectly, right? I'm just going to put this on a wall, and then I'll make another map later on once I've made some changes, and then another one once it's all completed. And I think that would show a really cool little progression between having nothing, completely just wilderness and woods, to a full city, a full area, the final product that I want my village to turn into. So Minecraft does have a mechanic for this already, which is really awesome. You can use panes of glass just like this in a cartography table to lock a map, so that any changes that happen to the area the map is depicting will no longer affect the map, even if you're holding it in your hand. I think this area here is going to be pretty decent for my cartography building. It's up on this hill and it's right next to the water. And the two things that I kind of want my cartography building to have is access to the water so that my map making compatriots can access boats and go out on the water in order to do their ocean mapping, and also to be up high so that I can make some kind of observation tower that would be beneficial to people trying to make, you know, pictures of the bird's eye view of the land. So being up on this hill next to the water kind of makes this the ideal spot. And that one must fit there. Okay. So here's the total area. Here's the first map wall. And literally everything about a city that's going to stretch through this entire area here is all going to be built around this one 4x4 oak plank wall. It's really kind of crazy to think about. And one of the issues about only having a single layer beacon here is that the range on this thing is not going to be, it's not going to be huge. So I think if I put it down right here, okay, boom, we have beacon power. Yes, bringing home the beacon. All right, haste. Saying haste in there. Okay, just throw an iron. We've got a lot of wood to chop down, so I think I'm just gonna start doing some of this off camera. So I've done some quick Googling, and it turns out that in order to make a full beacon, I need over 1,000, almost 1,500 iron ingots to craft the pyramid, and that is going to take forever for me to find all that iron. So I think something that might be a little bit more efficient for me to do is to make myself up an iron farm and maybe start getting some iron to just passively come in, and then I can start building that beacon to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to keep my iron farm super simple, really small footprint, only about 20 by 20 block footprint, which is going to be nice. I'm going to be able to get this out of the way and get it bringing in some iron passively while I keep on cutting down the trees. So yeah, let's get into this build. This is always my favorite part. Alright, so here you can see the completed farm. I've made a perimeter around the outside using path blocks and leaf blocks. And inside of my little structure here, you can see I've got 3 villagers who are constantly being harassed by my little zombie here. And they will spawn an iron golem up on the 2nd floor, which will then be eaten into iron. Alright, well, I've been chopping wood for about another hour, so let's see what we got. Nice. This is good. This is decent output. For such a little farm, this is actually pretty darn decent. Oh, this isn't the most efficient system, but hey, it keeps on working. Alright, so with our new passive iron income, we should be able to build our way up to a full beacon pretty soon. You can see we've got a few more blocks on it now, but I guess it'll just keep on growing over the course of the episode. While I was working on that beacon, I realized there's a way that I can get rid of these woods way faster. Just need to be careful. Okay, this isn't so bad. Oh, just keep it on the tree. There we go. Oh no. Oh dear. Burn it all. Yeah. Ah. Well, might not be the most environmentally friendly way, but man, this makes cleanup simpler. Alright, well, at long last, I have completed the majority of the deforestation that we are going to do here. as you can see, my concept of having a map showing the original landscape and a map showing the current landscape is working out quite nice. You can see this whole patch of forest has been completely removed, and I think I'm going to stretch out even a little bit more here, get rid of some of this stuff around the edges, but for now this is looking like kind of a lot. I don't want to overdo it and wind up just wiping out trees across such a huge area and then just not having anything to put in here. And honestly, this is looking so bizarre now after having this dark oak forest surrounding my base for so long. It looks like that friend that you've always known who's had a beard and he just like shaves it one summer and you just don't even recognize his face anymore. It's quite odd. But my favorite part about this deforested zone is probably this little guy. I have gone all over this map, and for some reason this cow just refuses to despawn. He's just chilling. He's just having a good time. I can't even argue with that. He's gonna be there. I can't get rid of that island while he's up there. This is a little place. But floating island cows will not prevent me from doing the basics. You know, I'm gonna go through, get rid of some of these little ponds in here and smooth out some of this landscape, and basically just do the sort of base design for how I'm gonna want the land to look while I'm designing my city here. And specifically up in this area up top, I'm looking at the landscape. I'm looking at this like shape, this kind of curving banana shape, and I'm seeing a possibility that I think I'm gonna probably take a gander at for my farming area. This is gonna be my farming district up here, and I have kind of an interesting idea. I want to see how it works out before I get into any detail about it, but I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, so time to get some landscaping done. So I've reset myself. I've put myself right into the center of my farming area here, and my concept is based around a mathematical formula known as the Fibonacci Sequence. It is a sequence of numbers that actually shows up in nature fairly regularly. I'm explaining this terribly. Now, just briefly, the Fibonacci sequence is a numerical pattern where each number is the sum of two previous numbers. For example, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, etc. These numbers appear in nature all the time, in the number of petals on flowers, in the distribution of leaves on branches, even in snail shells. The curvature is all based on this pattern. Now, these numbers, when used to create square areas, create a pattern of rectangles that quickly grow larger and larger, and from that set of rectangles, a spiral can be drawn. So I thought it would be kind of neat to have the most sort of nature-esque part of my build, the farming district, work with that same principle, and this kind of curve shape here in the land, I think is actually going to work really well for that. Now, normally this first square would be denoted as a distance of 1, but I want this to be a fairly large structure, and I don't want it to have a 1 block spiral, so I'm going to start off with 11, and I've sort of denoted an 11 by 11 square here using my beacon. Just convenient that this is going to wind up in the center spot, and as you can see, my beacon lines up here. So my second square is actually going to be probably the hardest one to place, because I need to sort of figure out, I need to reverse engineer this spiral so that the majority, I think I want the largest area to end up down here, but I don't want it to wind up with a huge zone here that then becomes this enormous square here. So I think the way I'm gonna have it go is actually this way first, which is a pain in the butt because I'm standing that way. But yeah, let's map it out, see how this goes. As you can see, my Fibonacci sequence curve here is getting quite large. It's all within expected boundaries, of course, because the math has been done ahead of time. But there is a large area for me to start clearing out and terraform. But for now, the skeleton is complete. I think we can move on to the other districts. Alright, this is going to be the second major district. I bet you can take a guess at what I'm going to build here already, just from the structure I've already placed here. But to begin with, I want to collect some building materials like dirt and stone. And as I'm planning on hollowing this whole area out anyway, let's get digging. Okay, well, certainly not as hollowed out as I'm gonna have it in the end, but I have the building materials I need now, so we can return our attention back to the big halo in the sky. Oh, hello. Now, as you may have guessed, this ring is gonna become the top of a volcano that I'm gonna build. I'm thinking of a sort of geothermally powered super forge for my master blacksmiths. Now, in order to design this mountain, I'm going to have to make 4 slanting pillars of stone up from the area I want to have at the bottom of the mountain all the way to the top. Now, while I'm designing these pillars, I'm trying to deliberately make some random sideways movement left and right in order to make a more natural looking mountain ridge. But what I am paying attention to is the steepness of the ridge, so that the mountain's shape is sort of a little bit more sculpted. All right, 1 down, 3 more to go. Okay, all 4 of my pillars are done. This is starting to come together rather nicely, I think. I really like natural looking builds like this because it really makes things a lot more simple. No need to do any mathematical calculations and no precise block placement. It's all just kind of, you make it, you take a look at it, and if you don't like it, you go back and you fix it. It's like sculpting. It's like a lot more natural. I like it. Alright, our third district we're going to tackle the... Oh, hello. Okay. Oh, he had backup. Trying to sneak up on me? Trying to gang up on me? Oh, sir. That's right. Man. Okay, the third district we're going to tackle today is a magic district. Now, I'm thinking of making a sort of castle complex for this area, but the main thing I'm focusing on right now is that the outside of this castle area is going to be an octagon. So for that, I'm just making the corners and marking them out right now. I tried to make this pretty big. It's like 50 blocks on each side, but taking a look at the map right now, it's actually looking pretty puny. Maybe 100 blocks on each side. Okay, so here we are. There's the corner of the old octagon, and the new, bigger octagon is going to be over here. Think around about here. Oh my, that's dripstone. That's tons of dripstone. Oh, nice. Oh, excellent. I'm planning on using a bunch of this in one of my builds. It's fantastic. I can mine this all up. Damn, that was a big one. Okay. Yep. Alright, well, that was excellent. I got like a whole bunch of dripstone from that. Okay, so from the corner here, just gonna start building out the wall diagonally, just like this. Okay, so I've made some 1x magnification maps just to get an overview of the... Is this where that goes? Okay, so... yeah, this is looking pretty good. Yeah, this is looking nice. This is good shape. God, I like it when things work out the first time. Okay, so, we need to cut down these trees. We need to start clearing out some trees from this area. God, why do I hear so many zombies around here? This is ridiculous. Ooh! Not today. What the heck? Why are there logs just on the... What? This is preposterous. I found a zombie spawner inside of my magic district. This is excellent. I was totally thinking that the magic district should handle, like, mob spawning and stuff like that. Man, this is bizarre. I've never found a zombie spawner this close to the surface before. This is brilliant. Okay, so I think the magic district is going to be one of the last things I'm going to work on. Like, I'm going to do with the other two districts first. So I don't really think I need to be super thorough clearing out trees right yet. Let's just move on. I think wrap things up. Alright, the last thing we're going to get done today is we're just going to set up a few systems to process some of the material that I'll be needing to start my builds. Oh, jeez. I know I'm going to need a lot of glass for my farming build, so I'm just clearing out some sand here. And clearing out a desert temple like this is just kind of a win-win. Alright, this should be enough sand to start out with. Okay, I'm just going to feed it into my little super smelter here. It's always best to try and set up your systems on site where you're building. Just cuts down on time. Likewise, my other little system is just a little dripstone farm. Like I said, I'm going to need a lot of these for my crafting district builds, so I'm just going to use the pieces I found earlier to grow some more. Nice. Alright. Oh! Yeah, okay, we already got our first little piece of dripstone growing. Brilliant. Whew. Man, it has been a gigantic episode. There has been so much work done this episode. As you can see, there's been some more progress made on the farming district. Some of the biospheres are getting set up here. We have built just sort of the beginnings of the new ranch, the animal pen. Over here is the magic district. It's trying to load in. That is going to be huge, man. I can't wait to get started on this. I sort of started designing kind of a centerpiece, this area that's going to connect everything. And then over here is the crafting district. And this is going to be a monumental build as well. Can't wait for this to get started. As you can see, our dripstone farm has already been increased. And it's coming along pretty nicely. Things are starting to take shape. I'm very, very excited for what's going to happen in the next episode. I don't even know. I think I'm going to start with the farming district. I think that's what's really getting me going right now. And let me just say, I realized that it took a bit longer than usual for this episode to come out. There was a ton of work that needed to be done, clearing out the whole forest behind me. This entire area was just covered in trees, and filling in the landscape and making a bunch of changes like that, on top of building all the structures and everything that we were going to have done today. it just took a long time. It just took a long time. But you know what? It is so much fun making these episodes. I'm having a blast. I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, leave a like. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. It's going to help me out a lot. But that is all for now. I will see you guys in the next episode of Game Time. Peace. All right, cows moving castle. I see you. I see you.